different people have different agenda today.
Great.
Hmm.
Well, thank you. Great to, I don't know, I feel it's great to be back. So yeah.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna, I was just telling Eva that that in Vancouver, when I get back to Vancouver, that we'll begin with the practices and the teachings of the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which are very briefly in 4 chapters. The first chapter is asana. The second chapter is shat karmas, kriyas, purification practices. The third chapter is mudras and bandhas, and the 4th chapter is like meditation, the chapter on samadhi. And it's like the basis of all the yoga that we do, right? In sadhana class, the text, the basis of all the practices we do is that text called Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and that's the one that Swami Muktibuddhananda translated together with the guidance of her teacher. So we use her text as well as the translation that Geshe Michael did. He also did a translation of Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So anyway, you'll hear about it from me by email, I guess. But
Okay.
so I just wanted to begin slowly to dipping back into those practices in a more kind of like a formalized way as part of our sadhana class.
Okay.
Well, let's start in Siddhasana or Siddhayoni Asana. So Siddhasana, Siddhayoni Asana is where you, and I'm not going to show it, Eva, you show it. So set yourself up so you can easily be seen. So Siddhayoni Asana is where you take, let's say, the right heel, and you sit on the right heel such that the right heel is right in the perineum. It's almost like you're placing your perineum on top of the right heel. And then the ankle, that ankle is a right angle. Okay, so you're sitting on the heel and the ankle itself is in a right angular position. Yeah, exactly. So keep that ankle in a right angular position. So your weight bearing onto the side of the heel and onto the outer edge of the foot. And then the other leg bends up and over. And so then the left heel, in the case of women, would come up and over that one, and the heel would be pressing into the clitoris. And in the case of men, it would be pressing into the root of the penis, into the root of the penis. So what that means is that what that means, and that's called Siddhasana for men, and for women, it's called Siddhayoni Asana. So in Siddhasana, the penis is between the 2 ankles, and the top heel is pressing into like the root of the penis. And again, the ankle is triangular, or sorry, it's at a 90-degree angle. Yeah. And so then the 2 ankles should be perfectly stacked on top of one another, kind of like this. You know what I mean? So can you do that, Ty, or is it not doable? Yeah. So you can take any cross-legged position you like, any cross-legged position that's comfortable. And if your knees do not come close to the ground, it's best that you put something underneath the knees. Support your knees with cushions on both sides. And that will allow you to just rest your knees down into something. And if you are able to rest your knees down into something, then eventually gravity would permit your knees to drop lower. Okay, Eva, are you good with that? Is it comfortable for you to stack the 2 ankles sitting on the, yeah. So it's kind of tricky, right? Siddhayoni Asana. It's not so easy as we all think. The other one that we all just do naturally is called Swastikasana. swastikasana, where you don't so much, you stack the two ankles, but they're not doing that kind of like a mudra, like a bind, Okay, so you take a comfortable cross-legged position. Oh, Deborah, she's such a trooper. And once you've taken that position, allow your sitting bones to get super heavy. Hi, Deborah. Yeah, let your sitting bones get really, really heavy and sink. And then uplift yourself from the back of the heart space. So from the back of the heart space, imagine that you're drawing upward, and you feel that the upper body levitates, almost like it feels like it levitates a little bit. And you could put your two hands down on the ground beside you, almost like bracing yourself. Put your hands beside your hips for a moment. Yeah. Good. And then inhale the two arms up. Bring your prayer hands together overhead. Drop the right hand behind and the left hand in front, and take a twist to the right. Good. And use your two hands, inhaling up from the back of the heart space all the way to the crown, and twist a little deeper in the same direction. Sorry, stay where you are. Sorry, stay where you are. Twist a little deeper in the same direction. And one more time, inhale up through the central channel from the back of the heart space, uplifting yourself even more. And as you exhale, twist even a little still deeper to the right. Okay, and on your next inhale, you can bring your hands together in prayer overhead again. Reach up, look up. And as you exhale, put your right hand down in front, left hand behind, and keep twisting to the left. And when you're ready for your breath in, draw the breath in through the Mula Bandha, through the perineum, drawing it up, feeling it at the heart as it uplifts you all the way up to the crown. Then exhale, twist a little deeper. Beautiful. Lengthening the back of the neck, lengthening the whole spine. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your eyes. Nice. One last breath in. And then exhale and twist. And so the next in-breath brings you back around to the front. Put your left hand down beside you, maybe on your elbow. You can see how it feels. Inhale the right arm up. And as you exhale, side bend to your left. That's nice. Good. Trying to make your side body, your right side body, as rounded as you can. So you can press out along the sides of the ribs here to give yourself a bit more rounding in that right side body. Every time you inhale, like puff your ribs out to the side, and exhale, side bend a little deeper. Nice. And one more big breath in, and exhale, side bend as deep as you can. Good. Then stay where you are and reach your right arm over your left thigh, way forward, like you're folding over your left thigh. Fold over your left thigh. That's it. Good. With your right arm tight. Yep, that's it. Good. And then drag your two arms in front of you all the way around to the other side. Bring both arms around. And then the other arm comes up. So the right arm comes up. No, other way. Sorry. Yeah, the right arm comes up. And then exhale, side bend to your right. So this time your right hand is. No, didn't you already do that side, Eva? Oh, no, you're right. You're right. So you put your right hand down and you inhale your left arm up. Good. Sorry to confuse you all. That's it. Puff out your ribs, side ribs. Exhale, side bend a little deeper, and then one more breath here after this one. Inhale and exhale, side bend. Beautiful, good. And then reach out over your thigh, reach out over your right thigh with your left arm. Long, long, long. Beautiful, good. And then sweep your arms around back to the front now and just fold yourself in front. Reaching your arms out ahead of you. You can rest your elbows on your inner thighs if it's more comfortable, or reach all the way out, way, way, way out ahead. Good. Deep breaths, inhaling, puffing out the back ribs now. Puffing up the back ribs, the back body. Exhale, sinking a little deeper into the hip creases as you reach forward. And one more deep breath, puff up the back ribs. And exhale. Good. Inhale, bring yourself up, use your hands. And then please change the cross of the leg. So switch now, the other leg comes on top. Exact same position that you had before, just switching up the legs. Put your hands behind you with your fingertips facing back. Right behind your bum, kind of. Good. Inhale, as you inhale, lift your whole pelvis up. Or just your heart. If you can lift your whole pelvis and your heart like Eva, that's nice. All the way up, 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 lifting the heart, lifting the heart. Good. And then exhale, sit back down. We'll do 2 more like that. One more deep breath in, lift up. Lifting the heart, use your hands, pressing the floor away from you, kind of. And exhale, come back down. And one last time here when you're ready. Big breath in, lift up. Beautiful. And exhale, come on back down. So put your hands on your thighs. And so we'll begin cat-cows in this circular movement of the pelvis. So as you come forward, you're inhaling in cow pose. And as you come back, you're exhaling into cat pose, tucking your chin and slumping, rounding your low back, drawing the belly into the spine as you exhale at the back, inhaling as you come back around to the front into cat pose. Big circles with the pelvis, and the whole torso is like a stir stick, stirring the pot of the pelvis, kind of. Great big circles, kind of exaggerating the torso movements. Yeah, beautiful. Good. Nice. Deep in-breath as you come forward, open the throat. Deep exhale, Uddiyana Bandha, tucking the chin into your sternum as you come around your cat at the back. A few more circles in that direction. Stirring the pot of the pelvis. And then let's change direction here. So the opposite way, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Really make it count. Beautiful. Nice. Good. Great big circles, not just your head, your whole torso. Your whole torso. Good. Few more, 3 more. Good. Come to stillness in the middle. Close your eyes. Inhale, uplift yourself from the back of the heart all the way up. Feeling the energy pulling up into your central channel. Exhale, just let the breath go, soft and free. 2 more like that. Breathing in to the central channel. Open your mouth and let the breath go. And 1 more. Okay, so Deborah, can you settle yourself lying down on the floor there? We're going to do a bunch of floor work, which I think you can do too. Can't hear you, but do what you can. Okay, so Eva and Ty, you could lie down on your mat. Maybe Eva, you could take your mat a little bit away from us so we can see more of your body. Do you know what I mean? Take your mat towards the door a little bit more. In fact, right in front of the door would be really good because then we could see what your legs are doing. That's great. Thank you. Yep. So lie down on your back. And oh, I already, yeah, okay. Hey, Ty, do you have any blocks there? Like yoga blocks? No? Okay. Eva, if you have some, you can use them. You could use two. One will go between your thighs and the other will go between your hands. It's not, yeah, good. That's cool. That'll do, Ty. That'll work very well. Yeah, good, 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 good. Perfect. So you can hold the weight with your two hands, palms pressing into the weight, and put the block between your thighs, just above your knees. Okay, now I'm going to actually show you. So you can just look up for a minute at what we're going to do here. So let's see, I'll also use cushions. So this is what I'd like you to do with a strong focus on Uddiyana Bandha. Oh, just a minute. I guess you can't see me at all. How's that? Is that better? Can you see my mat there? Okay, so you'll put a cushion or a block or something between your thighs and hold another one between your hands like this. So just watch for a moment. We're going to inhale and arch the back a little. And as you exhale, you're going to press your low back into the ground as you bring the legs and arms together and lift the hips. And then exhale back down. Inhale at the bottom, arch your low back, point your toes. Exhale, bring the arms and legs to meet. So the arms and legs end up vertical here. Hips are lifted. Even the shoulders you can lift a little. Take a breath in and exhale on the way down. Make sure your low back stays pressed as you bring the legs back down. Ready? Deep breath, inhale, arch your low back, and exhale. Press your low back into the ground as you bring the legs and arms up. Breath in and exhale down. How's that going, my friends? Looks good. They keep going like that. Can you manage that okay, Deborah? Do what you can, yeah? Good. So we're going to try for 10. You can see how you feel about doing 10. You could rest your feet on the ground or not, as you like. The main thing is that as you come up, you're pressing the low back flat, and then at the end you lift the shoulders and the head. And not, Eva, are you sitting all the way? Oh no, you're okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's really looks good. Okay, so inhale, come on. Lift the hips, lift the shoulders and head. Good. And then exhale on the way down as well. Beautiful. I'm not counting. I hope you are. Do a total of 10. Lovely. So squeeze the block or the cushion or whatever it is that you've got between your legs as much as you can. Very slowly and consciously. This is the Manipura Chakra awakening opportunity. Yeah. Good. Awesome. So when you've done your 10, just rest for a moment. Take a break and just rest. You can just put the props aside and hug your knees into your chest and hug yourself into a little ball. Roll around a little on your low back and your sacrum. Just give your low back a bit of a massage. Good. And then put the cushion between your thighs again, just above your knees. But you don't need the one for your arms this time, so you can set that one aside. And this time, the arms are going to be out to the sides, either straight out to the sides or in cactus formation. Knees can be a little bit bent to begin. Press your low back down, press the shoulder blades down. Press the backs of the hands down into the ground. Now, deep breath in at the top. As you exhale, just let the legs drop to the left, but not very far. And meanwhile, you're really squeezing whatever you've got between your legs, right? And don't let your shoulders come off the ground, not either of your shoulder blades. Inhale back up to the middle. And exhale, let the legs go to the right, very slow, not very far. Make sure your shoulder blades stay connected. And again, inhale, legs up to the middle. Exhale, drop to the left. Maybe they'll go a little bit further. But the deciding factor is that you keep your shoulder blades glued to the ground. Inhale back up. Exhale to the right. Yeah, good. Super. Yeah, nice. And then you can begin to gradually straighten your legs a little bit more and more and more, which makes it more challenging because you're lengthening the levers, right? But it will, of course, have a much more deep effect on the Manipura chakra area, on the belly. So still the main thing is to keep the shoulder blades anchored. Looks really good. Just keep going like that, side to side. And then eventually, like Eva, maybe you'll now reach your feet, your toes towards your outstretched fingertips. Stretch your arms out and go side to side, a full Jatara Parivartanasana movement. Nice, Deborah. Does it feel okay on your ankle? Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah. Just do what you can and don't definitely avoid anything that's uncomfortable. Okay, so let's go for 3 more in each direction. Nice and slow and conscious. Beautiful. Nice. And when you finish your last one, take your legs into your chest, give yourself another hug, and then move into a happy baby for a moment, rocking from side to side in happy baby. Nice. And then rock and roll on your mat. Bring your legs back together again. Rock and roll forwards and backwards, holding on to your thighs until you come to your feet at the top of your mat. And let's move into some prostration, some Surya Namaskars. So you could join us from your chair, Deborah. So you're going to inhale up and exhale, draw the hands down through the central channel. Inhale halfway up and exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the left leg back, the right leg black. Plank, high plank. Press the floor away from you. Make a little lift in the back of the heart space. And then fold yourself into child's pose at the back of your mat. Curl your toes under. So you're in a tiptoe squat at the back of your mat. And then exhale, press yourself into standing forward fold. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Sky diamond, reach up, look up, and exhale, draw your prayer hands through the central channel, deep fold. Inhale, halfway up. Fingertips down or full hand pressing down. And then exhale, fold deeply in. You can hug your opposite elbows, or you can hug behind your calves. You can put your hands under your feet, whatever you like. Let's do 5 breaths here in forward fold. Deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Last exhale. And then inhale, drop to your knees. Slide yourself all the way out into Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose. So your elbows are directly beneath your shoulders and your upper arms are vertical. So just check that your upper arms are vertical and your hands are pressing flat. The hand is wide open like a big pancake. Pressing into the bases of all the fingers and pressing into all 10 toes. Deep breath in as you look forward and draw your heart forward. Doing a very subtle kind of an Ashwini mudra, contraction of the anal sphincters. And then exhale, lie yourself all the way flat. All right, you take your arms out to the sides. And as you inhale, walk your left hand in towards you, rolling over onto your right shoulder. Bring the left leg up and over, put your foot down behind you. So you're rolled over onto your right shoulder. You could even take the left arm up and back behind you if that's comfortable, or just set it down in front of your torso. Two more deep breaths here, into the nose and out through the mouth. And then roll back onto your belly. Left arm out to the side, roll over onto your left shoulder. Bring the right leg up and back behind you, standing on your toes. The right hand fingertips standing on the right hand fingertips, just in front of your chest. Roll over onto the left shoulder as much as you can as you breathe deeply into your nose and out through your mouth, releasing tension as you exhale. Last 2 breaths. And then roll back over. Curl your toes under. Bring your hands beside your shoulders. Inhale, press up into a little cobra. Hold the breath in as you look over your right shoulder. Look back to the front and exhale down. Inhale up, pressing into your hands. Push the floor away from you. Hold your breath in as you turn and look over your left shoulder, back to the front, and exhale down. Let's do 4 more like that on each side. Inhale out. Good. Beautiful. Lots of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice. When you finish your 5 rounds, just rest. Stack your hands and rest your forehead. And then after another breath, you can press yourself back to child's pose. And take 2 breaths in child's pose. And then exhale yourself into downward facing dog. So take a deep breath in and come to your toes. Send your shoulders up over the top of your wrists. And then exhale, press back to downward dog. Do that a total of 5 times. And when you come into high plank, really balloon up into the heart, the back of the heart space. Pressing the floor away from you and lifting up into the back of the heart space. And then exhale back to downward dog. Good. Inhale, dive forward, staying high in the back of the heart space. Good. And exhale back. Beautiful. 3 more. Good job. Lovely. Really drawing in Mula Bandha when you're in your high plank there. And when you finish your 5, drop into child's pose for a couple of breaths. Good. Lovely. Stretch your arms long. And then bend your elbows. Make prayer hands and take your prayer hands to point down towards your heart space, towards your heart chakra. Almost like reaching down towards your heart chakra. Letting the head drop and get heavy in between your arms. Reaching into your sitting bones, reaching into your hip creases. Beautiful. Now come back into downward dog position, press into downward dog. Inhale the left leg up, open up the hip. Stack your 2 hips. And bend the leg, let the foot drop in behind you. Good, and as you exhale, dive forward and kiss that knee. Bring that left knee forward, give it a kiss, send it back. Slowly and carefully opening up the hips again. And when you exhale, bring the knee forward and give it a kiss. That's 2. On the 3rd one, you're just going to step forward lightly after you give your knee a kiss. Give your knee a kiss and step forward and come into pigeon dancing. So dropping into the outer edge of the left foot, pulling back into pyramid. Pull deeply back into pyramid. That's That's it. Good. Nice. Keep your head upheld, reaching forward. Your heart keeps reaching forward. That's it. Good. Lovely. And after you've done your 5 pigeon dances, you can drop into pigeon, letting the front of the right thigh approach your mat. Beautiful. And then swing the right leg up and over from behind. Swing the right leg up and over. So that you're bringing the right leg all the way up and over into position for Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated spinal twist. So now you've got either your left leg is outstretched or your left leg is bent with the left heel beside the right hip. The right leg is bent and you're hugging the right shin with your left elbow. Inhale, get super tall, and exhale, twist from the belly, from the belly. Four more breaths, inhaling long and exhaling to twist. Lovely. When you finish your 5th breath, come into position for cow face just for a moment, stacking the 2 knees, and then just bowing over your 2 legs. Rounding your back, pressing into the low back, pressing outward at the low back, and letting the chin draw into the chest. Beautiful. Good. Take a breath in, come back up. Kick yourself forward, uncross, step back, downward facing dog. Walk your dog a little bit. Stretching out the backs of your legs, keeping your chin drawn into your chest and your head dropping between your arms as though you wanted to press your heart towards your shins or your heart towards your thighs. Good. Flare your sitting bones. Let them open up and outward. All right, so then take a deep breath in as you inhale the right leg up, bend your right knee, stack your hips as though you wanted to step into the space behind, opening the hips up. And as you exhale, swing the knee around and give your right knee a kiss. Diving forward over your shoulders or over your wrists. Good. Inhale, take the right leg up again, stack your hips, bend your knee. Do it slowly, mindfully, carefully. And then give your knee a kiss. And on the 3rd one, give your knee a kiss and then just step, land your right foot between your hands and come into pigeon dance. Now aiming to bring the front of the left thigh down, pulling into pyramid, dropping into pigeon, pulling into pyramid. Good. That's it. Yeah. So after you've done 5 of those, you can allow yourself to now come into pigeon. Try to hold yourself upright if you can. Try to keep yourself aiming to let gravity take you through the front of the left thigh. Beautiful. All right, one more breath there. And then bring the left leg up, forward and up and over the right. Bring the right heel towards the outs, just beside your left hip. Your left leg is in position for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, hug your left leg in towards you with your elbow around the shin. Get super tall from the back of the heart space as you inhale, and then exhale, twisting from the belly, moving the twist into the heart, into the throat, and finally into the neck. Every inhale lengthens you from the back of the heart space. Every exhale twists you a little deeper. So 5 breaths in all. Beautiful. When you finish your breaths, you can tighten up the cross of your knees and come into Gomukhasana cow face pose. And just bow yourself over your legs. Okay, so you can unravel your legs and come into position for boat. And take a sort of an open boat like this. Bring the feet up off the ground. If you still have your cushion or whatever, you can take your cushion. Here's my cushion. Teddy bear is good. And then you can watch me. You take an inhale in the middle, exhale to the left, inhale in the middle, exhale right. Almost like a Kapalabhati. In fact, it is a Kapalabhati. So every time you exhale, you're dropping your torso, or I should say twisting your torso, one side and then the other. Yeah? Good. That's it. Good. And you can speed up or slow down as you like. Nice. Keep going like that. Keep going like that. We've got 10 more on each side. Do it very consciously. Make your movements very crisp and clean. That looks really great, Ty. Good. Yeah, good. So maybe something like 8 more on each side here. Super conscious. Legs are still. Just the torso is twisting side to side. Manipura chakra starting to say, hang on a second, is it me? Is it me you're looking for? Yeah, good. Awesome. Well done. So when you've done your 10 each side, you can just rest, put the cushion or whatever it is down. Hug your legs into your chest. Keep your feet off the floor. Tuck your chin. And then extend your legs straight out, quite close to the ground. Extend your arms. Let your chin drop into your chest. Let your low back press into the ground and just hold here. And we'll do another 10 fire breaths. And then just let yourself relax, lying in Shavasana just for a moment. Take a breath or two here. Then stretch your arms overhead. Inhale and arch your low back. And exhale, sit up. Dandasana. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, fold into Paschimottanasana. Forward fold. Inhale the arms up, Dandasana. Exhale, slump, canoe. Slowly lowering yourself down, pressing the low back into the ground, keeping your chin drawn into your chest. Extend your arms overhead, take a deep breath in. Arch your back, point your toes. Exhale, sit up. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, seated forward fold. That's 2. We're going to do 5 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach forward. Start to slowly lower down. 7 in total. This is 3. Inhale the arms up. Arch your low back. Exhale, sit up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, seated forward fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower. That's 4. Inhale, reach and arch. Exhale, sit up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, slump and lower. That was 5. So you got 2 more. Do nice, clean, strong movements. 2 more in your own time. Good job. Well done. Good. When you finish your last one, lie in Shavasana for a few breaths. Beautiful. Good. And then we're going to do some more work from the floor. So actually, Deborah, you could join us if you like, if you're feeling okay. I'll show you.
My foot's just throbbing, so I'm just taking, yeah. I don't see the surgeon until Monday, so I'm not going to push it today. I know I could do it, but.
No, actually throbbing is not good.
Yeah, I don't want it to inflame.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, but I enjoy hearing your voice and seeing everybody else, and I'm doing my De Lam, so.
Thank you. You're such a beautiful moral support for all of us.
Thank you.
So when you're done with those guys, you can come lie down on your back and bring your legs up vertically like this, so as though you're holding the ceiling up with the soles of your feet. Your arms are out to the sides. So you can do this one leg at a time. Let's start with one leg at a time. So the left leg is outstretched, the right leg is along the ground. Both ankles are strongly engaged, both legs are strongly engaged. Then you'll drop the left leg out to the side. Try not to let the right hip lift. And then pointing your toe, circle the leg back around, facing straight ahead of you. And then inhale, bring that leg up. And exhale, drop it to the left. So you're making big hip circles with the left leg. And in fact, you can start to cross the center line with that left leg, letting the circle become bigger and bigger here. Eventually, the left toe will be reaching all the way over to the ground on the other side. as you swing the leg around in a huge circle. So let the circle be as big as possible. So the rule is that you need to keep both shoulder blades on the ground for this one, right? Huge circles with the left leg. And after this next one, we're going to change directions. So stop with the leg in the middle. And now drop the leg to the right. And then down. And then up to the left. Overhead and down to the right. Yeah, good job. Beautiful. Make sure your shoulder girdle stays as still as possible. So your belly, your core is stabilizing your torso and your spine as you do this. So have an awareness of that. As the hip opens, your Manipura chakra stabilizes and protects your spine. Good, 2 more circles in that direction. Awesome. And then you can let your leg rest and just rest your whole body, having an awareness, a consciousness of the difference between the 2 sides. Just jiggle your hips from side to side and just notice how you feel in your body right now before you begin with the right leg. Okay, so bring the right leg up, holding the ceiling up with your right foot. And drop it to the right. And then circling around along the floor. The circle is small at first, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, good. Two more circles in that direction. Big circles. Yeah, beautiful. That's great. Nice. That's it. And then switch directions. Good. Lovely. Two more big, slow circles. Yeah, good. Okay, and just rest in Shavasana again. Breathing, eyes closed, deeply breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth as you let go of tension in your body and in your jaw. And just feel your body. You can jiggle your pelvis from side to side a little. Just having an awareness of how it feels. And then draw your knees in towards your chest and give your knees a kiss. Seeing how the depth of your hip creases feels here now. And again, rock and roll forward, backward, eventually coming to stand on your toes. And then take your feet out to the edges of your mat. So you're in a deep squat, like so. And once you're in your deep squat, you can press out with your elbows against the inner shins and the inner thighs. Bring your prayer hands to your heart and try and bring your torso as upright as you can, pressing your thumbs into your heart, feeling the heaviness in the sitting bones, feeling how deeply you can sink into your hip creases. And then I offer you the option here to come into Bakasana, crow pose. If you want to come in, bring your heels together. Sink deeply in between your legs with your shoulders so that your knees are pressing against the outer shoulders. Hands are flat in front of you, and then shift your body weight so you're starting to dive forward. Keep your feet together, look ahead of you, and then just float your feet up. So you don't have to do Bakasana, but if you choose to do it, it will be a very nice kind of like a reward for opening your hips so deeply. And then if you're airborne, you can come on down. And then press yourself from that deep squat up into a standing forward fold. The hands come forward, walk forward a little bit, the feet walk backward, back into downward facing dog. Feeling the backs of your legs, feeling into the sitting bones, reaching the sitting bones high as you come onto your tippy toes. As you exhale and press back into your feet and your heels, sending the hips high and wide. You feel the lower belly draw into Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale the left leg up. And as you exhale, kiss your left knee and place your foot. Put your right knee down, flatten into all 5 toes, pressing the foot into the ground, and then come into a low, deep lunge. You can keep your fingertips on the ground if you like, reaching the right hip forward and drawing the left hip back. Good. Low, deep lunge, really opening the front of the hips. Beautiful. Great. Nice. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, send yourself back to downward facing dog. Yes, Eva?
I was just wondering what the asana was that I just missed. I was just in the bathroom.
Oh, low, deep lunge. Low, deep lunge with the left leg forward. Now we're back in downward dog and we're going to do it on the other side. So inhale the right leg up. And then dive your right leg forward. Giving your knee a kiss as you send your foot between your hands, your right foot this time. Flattening into the left 5 toes. Drawing the left hip forward, the right hip back. You can keep your fingertips on the ground or reach your arms overhead as you like. Really opening the front of the left hip. And then exhale. This time, bring the left foot to the front, beside the right. So you're standing forward fold at the front of the mat. And then ragdoll yourself all the way up. Come to standing with your hands at your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Take your feet a little bit wide. And come into Kati Chakrasana. Feeling maybe a little bit of ease in your torso as you come into your swinging twist. Supporting that release of tension with your out breath through an open mouth, accompanied by a bit of sound. Okay, good. So please inhale, sky diamond overhead, exhale, swan dive, arms to the side as you bow. Inhale halfway up and exhale fold deeply. Again, inhale up. Exhale, send the left leg back, low deep lunge. This time the arms come up, join overhead, little back bend here. And exhale, bow forward, hands come down, step back, pyramid, folding pyramid. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward, plant your left hand beside your right foot. Reach back with your right hand and press your right sitting bone back into your right hand, back towards the wall behind you. Feeling the lengthening of your right leg, the lengthening of your left leg as you press into the outer edge of your left foot. Inhale the right arm forward and open up into a twisted triangle. Keep reaching back with the right sitting bone. Exhale, bring the right hand back down, draw into the right hip crease, and then inhale, dive your shoulders forward over your wrists as you bring the right foot up and back to downward dog. Exhale, inhale, high plank, exhale, halfway down, and then upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Shift your weight into your left foot, bring the right foot forward and bow. Inhale all the way up, prayer hands overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Soft and relaxed. Your gaze is soft, your jaw is relaxed. And the other side, inhale, sky diamond overhead, exhale, bow. Inhale halfway up, exhale the right leg back, stay here, flatten into the right toes as you inhale the arms up. And then exhale, pull into pyramid. Pressing into the outer edge of the right foot, bring the right hand beside the left foot. Then draw up the inner left leg. And then put your left hand behind your left sitting bone and press your left sitting bone into your left hand. So you really feel this left leg lengthening right out and the right. And those 2 legs, as the prana draws up those 2 long straight legs, the prana joins in the pelvic floor. You can inhale the left arm forward and then up into a twist. 3 breaths here. Last exhale coming up. And exhale, the left hand comes down. Shift your weight into your hands. Guide your shoulders forward so you can float your left foot up and back to downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Beautiful. Okay. After you finish those 3 breaths, bring your left hand into the middle of your mat. And then roll over onto the outer edge of your left foot. Vashisthasana here. Big breath in, keep your hips high as you reach the right arm up. And then you can switch, bring the right hand down, roll over onto the outer edge of your right foot, keep your hips high, torso long. Reach the left arm up. One more time on each side like that. Vashisthasana. Okay. Beautiful. That's it. Lovely. Good. And when you finish your Vashisthasana, you can walk your feet back into the middle of the mat. Actually, turn to face the long side of your mat and come into a deep yogi squat again. Now you're facing the long side of your mat. Let's do a little twist here. Stretch the left arm straight along the inner left leg and inhale the right arm up into an open twist. It's not really a twist, but open lotus. I think Sharon Gavin calls it. And then open up the right inner thigh with the right arm. Open the left arm to the left. And twist left. Good. And then put both your hands down. Heel toe your feet open. Heel toe your feet quite open. So that you're in position now for Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. The toes are a little bit in, the heels are a little bit out. Press into the outer edges of your feet and then bow. So it's a real hip hinge, okay? It's a real hip hinge. Your sitting bones are pressing out behind you and you're drawing deeply into your hip creases as your heart bows down. And maybe you'll come to rest on your elbows or your hands, or maybe the tip of your head. Maybe you'll come into a tripod headstand if you like, you can. You can just be in your forward fold with your knees soft. That's perfect time. Looks really great. Just allowing gravity to move you into this forward fold a little deeper. And then please inhale, come up, turn your feet out and come up into Durga Asana, resting your hands on your thighs like this. And then inhale, straighten your legs, turn the left foot in, the right foot out, come into warrior two. So keep facing the long side of your mat though. Don't turn your torso yet. So just stay here. Set yourself up. The right knee is lined up with the second toe. The left knee is also lined up with the second toe. That's really hard to do. So you have to externally rotate your left thigh, right? And then inhale both your arms up. You know that your torso is vertical. And when you know your torso is vertical and you've got Ashwini Mudra engaged, exhale your arms down, straight out to the sides, and then you can turn your head and look out over your front hand. Nothing else changes, yeah? Nothing else changes. Good, let's inhale into a reverse warrior. And exhale into an extended side angle. Beautiful, and again, inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, extended. And we'll do one more like that, inhale, reverse. And exhale, extended. Two more breaths here. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more. And on the next out breath, straighten both your legs so that you're in triangle. Trikonasana. Maybe you need to turn the left foot in a little bit more. I do. You can rest your hand on your shin or your ankle, maybe the floor, or maybe nowhere. Make sure the right side body is very long. Good. And then put your fingertips down, turn your right toes to the long side of your mat. Once again, come into a forward fold, pressing into the outer edges of your feet. So your heels are a little further out. And deeply, deeply into your hip creases. Maybe you come back into another headstand, up to you. That's beautiful, good. Bending the knees a little, making sure the knees are tracking out with the second toes. Awesome. Good. Beautiful. And then one last exhale as you bow. Inhale to come on up. And exhale. Heels come in a little so you can drop back into Durgasana. Supporting your hands on your thighs, coming deep, letting the pelvic floor drop. And then you can straighten both legs, turning the right foot in, the left foot out a little bit, coming back into warrior two, but wait, stay here, don't turn to the front. First, focus on setting up your knees in alignment with your second toes. Dropping deeply in, and then both the arms come straight up vertically, and then the arms drop into place. Then your head turns, just your head, nothing else, right? Just your head. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended. Inhale, and then exhale, triangle. One more deep breath. And then turn the left foot in, come into one last bow to the long side of your mat before you heel toe your feet in all the way together. And come into Uttanasana here, right here. Just drop into a forward fold. And then come into a deep squat there, if you can, with your knees quite close, your feet quite close. And come into a kneeling position. We're gonna prepare for Ustrasana, camel pose. Okay. So on your knees, put your hands like this on your low back, like this. Oh yeah, I'll do it with you, but I'll do it in standing, so you're like this. And then you're going to inhale, get very long from the back of the heart space, and keep drawing the elbows together behind you. As you keep lifting the heart, don't drop the head yet, just keep lifting the heart as you press with your hands into your sacrum. So you feel yourself get super long in the fronts of the thighs. Keep lifting up through the heart, lifting up through the heart. That's it. Good. And then exhale back into child's pose. Okay, so now hold your heels with your fingertips, and maybe Eva is going to show you. You might do this keep holding on or you might not. So just lightly keeping your fingertips on your heels. Inhale yourself up into camel. So just watch what she does. She presses the hips forward as she lifts the heart up, and then exhale back into child's pose, just so you can see what she's doing. So she's really supporting herself with her arms. Good. And then again, inhale, pressing the fingertips, pressing the hips forward, the heart up. Good. And then exhale back into child's. Beautiful. Good. And again, inhale, push with your fingertips, press the hips front, heart up, 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 up. Awesome. So nice. And do that 2 more times and then stay in camel for a while. Wow, that looks so great. I wish I could do that. I can't do that. Good. When you come up and stay in camel, focus on lifting your heart, raising up your heart as high as you can, pressing the hips forward. Ashwini Mudra, anal sphincters are engaged, the heart just very, very high. And maybe you relax your head now. Ah, awesome. Looks so beautiful. Good. And then eventually you can drop back into child's pose with your knees wide and relax. Well done. Mhm. Good. Now you could curl your toes under and then just settle yourself back into Shavasana from there. And we'll come into a little bridge. So you can bend your knees and let the fingertips graze the heels. Inhale your hips up. Clasp your hands beneath you. Work your elbows and shoulders closer and closer and closer as you raise your heart towards your chin. Good. Beautiful. That's nice. And then as you slowly lower, unclasp your hands, place your hands flat, sit down on your hands and come into fish. Drawing the elbows together beneath you. Yes, good. Letting the throat fully open. Nice. And whenever you've had enough of that fish, you can just release your fish and allow your body to settle into Shavasana. Gathering whenever you need. Bring some small movements into your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, pretty lazily and slowly. Giving yourself a big full body stretch, arms overhead, legs long. Breathing now deeply. And draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side, massaging your low back, your sacrum, mobilizing your spine. Eventually, rolling over onto your right side, your left side, onto your left side, just resting there for a breath or two. And then give yourself a hand up, press up. And then see whether you need to empty your bladder. Please don't drink water or anything right now till we finish our seated practice. And when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to a comfortable seat. We'll do a few rounds of Kapalabhati to bring some more fire into the belly, some more awakening into the Manipura chakra right now. Few rounds of Kapalabhati. So just feel your body after this asana practice. We did some pretty deep openings. Feel what kind of energy what kind of energy you have moving right now. What is the nature of the energy that's moving through your body? Is it frenetic? Is it tingly? Is it vibrant? Is it dull? Is it sluggish energy? What kind of energy do you have moving through your body right now? Just curious about it. There's nothing to do about it. There's no judging of it or describing it or anything like that. Just almost like a questioning. What is the energy like in my body right now? And however you find it, having like a welcoming curiousness about it. Kind of like, oh, And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale through your nose. Long, deep exhale. And the next inhale will be a little shorter, just into the lungs. As we begin. This forced exhalation followed by a reflexive inhalation. You could put your hand on your belly to feel the belly pulling in every time you exhale. So not too fast, just keep going like that. for about 15 more if you're able. Just having a strong sense of exhaling and letting the belly pull in, and the inhale is just completely reflexive and natural and spontaneous. And when you've finished your 15, take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath in, pulling it in with Mula Bandha, letting the chin drop into Jalandhara Bandha. And then straighten your head up as you exhale. Take one natural breath in and out. And then we'll begin our next round. So inhale, deeply inhaling into your nose and out through your nose. And then a shallower breath in through the nose. And last 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let all the breath out, 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 out. And then deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath in, Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. And then lift up your head, exhale, just let the breath go. And all right, natural breath in and out. And then our last round, so breathing in deeply through the nose and then deeply out through the nose. And then a shallower breath in just to the lungs. And last 10, 9, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale all the air. Exhale, 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 exhale. And then a deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath in, Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. And straighten up your head and exhale. Just relax with your eyes closed. All right, we'll come into a set of dog panting. So you can come into Bhadrasana, which is, Eva will show you. Yeah. So the knees are apart, the feet are together, the toes are touching. Yeah. This is comfortable for you. You can take that position. Otherwise, you can stay in any comfortable seated position. Rest your hands on your thighs. And then stick out your tongue and make like a hot, panting puppy dog in the Europe heat. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Deep breath in. Hold the breath in. Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. And release. Release Mula, release Jalandhara Bandha, relax. Okay, one set of those is enough because I wanted to come into Agnisar Tauti and Uddiyana Bandha. So in standing. So come into a, Eva will show you, but come into a short stop position. Like this. Take a breath in as you look forward. As you exhale, draw your chin into your chest. Simultaneously, rounding the low back, drawing the belly in towards the spine. And holding, pulling the belly up in towards the spine in Uddiyana Bandha. Good, that's good for the first one. Straighten up, breathe in, and exhale, just relax. That's good. Okay. So now I'm just going to talk you through it. So you'll come into your short stop position, look ahead of you, take a breath in, and exhale forcefully through your mouth. And as you do that, draw the chin up into the chest, hollowing the belly, drawing the belly in towards the spine, holding the breath out, suctioning in the belly. That's it, good. And whenever you're ready, you straighten up your head and your body and you breathe in and just relax. So we're going to do 5 more of those for a total of 7. So whenever you're ready, you can do a natural breath in the middle here. Try to really focus on the Jalandhara Bandha, which really facilitates the Uddiyana Bandha and makes the belly really hollow and lets you really draw the belly in deeply, deeply towards the back of the spine. Good. Nice. Oh yeah, I said Agnisar, but first we're doing Uddiyana. Sorry, Eva. Yeah, we'll do Uddiyana first. So that was 3, I think. So 4 more Uddiyanas. Beautiful. Good. Beautiful. When you finished 7 Uddiyana Bandhas, please stand up straight and relax. Just resting in a standing position. Good. And then we'll do some Agnisar Kriyas as well. So Agnisar Kriya is exactly the same method, except you release and draw in the belly repeatedly. So Eva will show us. So first you begin the same way, doing a full exhalation through the mouth. Yeah, you should be getting pretty warm by about now. Exhale forcefully through the mouth. Draw the chin into the chest, Jalandhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and then let the belly go and draw it back in. So if you can see what she's doing there, she's just letting the belly drop and sucking it back in, almost like flapping the abdominal muscles. And then as many as feels comfortable for you, and then exhale, fully relax. Stand yourself up straight as you take your breath in. This is also done on an exhale retention, same as Uddiyana Bandha. So if you've done one round, please do 4 more for a total of 5. Agnisakriya means fire purification. You should be getting pretty warm in the belly right about now. And when you finished your 5 rounds of Agnisakriya, you could come back to a seat, seated position, and sit in a very upright seat that's comfortable for you, and let your whole body relax for a few minutes here. Really allow it to settle and bring it to the point of an absolute stillness, and then just allowing the awareness, the consciousness to settle on the natural movement of the abdominal area as you breathe, the natural abdominal breath. Just the movement of the navel as you very naturally inhale and exhale, very naturally allow the air to breathe your body and allow the air to leave your body, having an awareness of the movement at your navel as you sit super tall, very comfortably, with your consciousness dropped into the movement of the navel as the air breathes your body and as the air leaves your body. Bring even more consciousness to your navel, the movement of your navel as the air breathes your body and as the air leaves your body. And now become really curious about that movement of the navel as the air breathes and leaves your body. And inside that curiousness, there dawns a realization. There's a spacious place inside the curiousness of the movement of your navel. And in that spaciousness, a realization comes that there are 2 forces traveling to the navel, prana and apana. Apana is ascending from Muladhara chakra to the navel. And pranavayu is descending to the navel from the throat area. And they both reach the navel at the point of full inhalation. Just become aware of that. Just notice that that's what's happening. That at the point, the apex of your full inhalation, this upward moving force, Apanavayu, is coming from Muladhara to the navel. Simultaneously, Pranavayu is descending from the throat area to the navel. Allow your consciousness to settle there on that movement of the two forces, the two pranas. Apana, ascending from Muladhara to the navel, and prana, descending to the navel from above. And at the apex of your in-breath, they meet at the navel. And begin to settle your consciousness more and more at that meeting point. More and more, the consciousness wants to settle on the meeting point, so that when you feel that the two forces are meeting in the navel, naturally, there's this kumbhaka, a retention of that in-breath. It just naturally happens as a result of the fact that your consciousness is so still on the process of the two forces meeting in the navel. Is almost like a fascination when they do meet, that your whole body just stills to notice that the two forces have met. And your mental awareness becomes sharper and sharper and more focused on that single central point of force in the navel. And then you let the breath go. And then again, you notice that the two forces are joining in the navel. And with a fascination born of this spacious curiosity, your mind and your breath just rest there in an inhale retention. It's very natural and organic. There's nothing contrived about it. It's just an awareness that settles. So then you release the breath, and then you notice again at the apex of the in-breath that the two forces meet, and you just keep continuing in your own natural rhythm, this awareness of the two forces traveling and meeting in the navel center simultaneously. And now, as the two forces converge in the navel, you gradually notice that Mula Bandha also quite naturally engages. It's quite subtle. You can allow your consciousness to settle there and let that Mula Bandha become a little bit more pronounced as you heighten your awareness of the force, which is centered in the navel. And as your awareness is heightened and your breath is stilled, you centralize the force in the navel, and Mula Bandha also engages. And when you release and the breath lets go, release Mula Bandha as well. And just continue like that in your own natural time, letting everything be happening as a result of your strong focus inside that spacious, curious place where your consciousness naturally rests when the two forces converge at the navel. Noticing almost a little pinpoint of heat. Maybe it's like a flame at that point where the two forces converge at the top of your in-breath. Now let this go and just allow your whole consciousness to become absorbed with your mood right now. Your mood. What is your mood? What is the quality of the prana of your mind? What is the quality of your mind? Is your mind quiet? Is it anxious? Does it feel strong? Does it feel powerful? Does it feel empowered or disempowered or flaccid? Or how does your mind feel right now? So feel some very deep gratitude for however it is that your mind feels right now, and your body too. However your body and your mind feel right now, it's a gift. The ability to have this awareness, this sharp, clear awareness of the quality of your body and the quality of your mind is a gift. This is a remarkable gift, and one that we can all be super grateful for as we wish Carrie Ann a happy birthday. Carrie Ann, did you get stuck downtown or something? Oh, where are you two?
I'm here.
Where are you?
We're still
Hello?
in the city overnight.
I can't hear, we can't hear you. Is it just me? Oh,
You
yeah.
hear me, Lama?
Oh, now I can hear you. What did you say?
No,
No,
we're in
we're-
a separate. We're in the separate devices.
I know, but where are you?
Oh, Pan Pacific.
What? You had a birthday party at the Pan Pacific? That is
Yes, she
some
did.
kind of-
That was.
that is a
fun.
serious goddess activity, if I ever heard of one. That is some kind of wild goddess act. Wow, that is too beautiful. Wow, rejoice. We can really all rejoice for that. See, that's the way to do a party. The Pan Pacific. Woohoo. Happy birthday, beautiful. So we were just offering a dedication from our asana practice so we can do it all together. Yeah, feel super empowered, you know. You feel super empowered, and a birthday party at the Pan Pacific is like, of course we're going to have a birthday party at the Pan Pacific. Don't be silly.
Oh my God.
Mm. So let's make an offering of this awareness, this ability to be aware, whether you're happy or sad, angry, glad, whatever it is, the awareness is what is the big gift. That's the big gift, the ability to hold your awareness. So we can make an offering of that. Okay, we'll see you back in 5, Dakinis. And Ty, thank you for coming. It's beautiful to see you.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi. Mm. That's right. We're gonna have tantra classes by the poolside from now on. Maybe we could have our initiation at the Pan Pacific. That's a thought. Usually, tantric initiations take place in extremely secluded, secret locations. But you
That
never know.
would, yeah, that would qualify. It's really not secluded, but extremely
Extremely
special.
secret for sure. Well, this is it, Dakinis. This is the last class before tantric initiation. And you know, it's when you ask for it that you get it, right? And you know, like my mother always says to me, just be careful what you ask for. And then she says, because you will always get what you ask for, is what she says to me. And I think that whether or not we've asked for it, you know, we always get what we want, whether or not we even know we want it, you know. And so in the case of tantric teachings and tantric initiation, it's not enough that you kind of happen into it. You sort of happen into it and everyone's doing it and you think, oh yeah, cool, that sounds cool, you know, I think I'll do that too. There were many, many, many people in our tantra class like that. And then there were many, many people in the tantra class who were really unsure, even though they had formally asked for a tantric initiation, which you have to do if you want one. They had formally requested a tantric initiation, but then even then they were unsure, you know. This is also completely perfect and normal. And because it's a sort of a big deal. It's not sort of a big deal, it is a big deal. And the reason it's such a big deal is that the initiation process sends you on a trajectory from whence there's no return. There's no returning from a tantric initiation. You can't undo a tantric initiation. A tantric initiation is a blessing that comes through the lineage, and it holds the power of the lineage. And in this case, I can assure you that the lineage is very, very, very powerful. And there's no break in this lineage. It's not a broken lineage. It's a steadfast, unbroken lineage, you know. And so the power of transmission that comes through this lineage is very, very, very powerful. And it asks of us that we live by tantric principles, which, you know, the fact of the matter is that you're not supposed to say what Tantra is like or what Tantra is about until you get a tantric initiation. So really I've been kind of breaking the rules, and in ways that my lamas also broke the rules, seemed to break the rules with us. And they gave us many indications of what it was like to receive a tantric initiation and therefore be committed to a tantric path. And so we had some kind of tastes, which I have also given you, because as I may have told you before, and if not, I'll tell you again, is that you don't actually get to even to know what the tantric vows are until you get them. You have to swear to keep them before you even get them and hear what they are, which is typically tantric. You know, that's exactly the way it is with tantra. It's like, okay, jump. And then you just jump, you know, and then you say, where shall I jump? You know, but you already had jumped at that point. It's very, I don't know how else to say it other than to say that it's very tantric. It's very spontaneous, and it requires a constant second to second, deep awareness, which never leaves you actually, of emptiness, and a constant second to second curiosity and spaciousness, and ability to hold, to be the holder of whatever is going on, and to be held by whatever may appear. So it's like a complete surrender, you know, a complete and total unilateral surrender that isn't waiting for anybody to surrender back to you or anything like that. It's a unilateral, complete surrender in fullest trust. And anything else is a major obstacle, turns into a major obstacle. So to be able to do what Tantra then asks us to do is to have fully trusted and fully surrendered and fully moved into this position of a deep understanding of the fact that nothing is as it seems, and nothing is as it was, and nothing is as it ever will be, and everything is in a constant state of flux, as physics will tell us, and that the only terra firma that you will ever find is any kind of terra firma that you project, whether unconsciously or consciously. But Tantra speeds up the projection so much, and it speeds up the ripening of the karma so much that it's a bit brutal if you don't keep the awareness of your understanding of emptiness, and if you don't keep the awareness of this full openness, you know, this open trust, this open, trusting, surrendered, curious state. And that kind of has to be, and that comes, of course, it comes through the Lama, it comes through the Lama, it comes through the lineage, it comes through specific contact with the guru and the relationship with the guru, and the ability to practice that kind of trust and surrender through and with the teacher. And that's, you know, that becomes ongoing, and it's much faster than it ever has been. And it requires, you know, it requires you to fasten your seatbelt, frankly, and you know, hang on to your understanding, you know, hang on to your own hard won understanding of emptiness. Oh, that's me. I'm thinking, who has music in the background? But it's me. It was Little Wing. Jimi Hendrix singing Little Wing. I'm like, wow, somebody's playing Jimi Hendrix in the background. How nice is that? But then I saw that you were all muted. Okay. So, you know, as in the sutras, there are, well, anyway, partially sutra and then moving into tantra, we still have these three vehicles, the three scopes. We've been calling them the three scopes, right? So these are, in Sanskrit, it's called yana. Yana means vehicle, like a car, a vehicle. And there are three. Hinayana is the lowest capacity. It's for those of us in any given moment who are only thinking about getting out of our own pain in any given moment, okay? Maybe constantly, maybe occasionally, maybe moment to moment. It's just that place when the mind is in thinking about getting out of my own pain, like this is so painful, like I need to do my practice and get out of this pain. And now you're a Hinayana practitioner. You're in a Hinayana vehicle. Mahayana vehicle is the vehicle where you experience a desire to become enlightened so that you could also assist other people in some way to get out of their pain. Other people everywhere, not just on this world, not just on this planet. Then we have the Vajra vehicle, the Vajrayana. Vajra means diamond. And Vajrayana, when you're in a Vajrayana state of mind and body, it's completely unbearable to see people in pain. It's completely unbearable. I had this experience today and in the last few days. Unbearable to see people in pain. And so you put yourself, purposefully, you put yourself, in front of a speeding train, and then you just go. You just go so that you're on a fast track, which is both fast and dangerous. And it's dangerous because it's emotionally difficult, very, very difficult, because you have to keep this level of faith, because you have to keep this level of surrendered faith and trust. And if you fail, it's really, really hard if you do lose that faith. And it's faith, the faith is in you, So as you probably know, I've been gradually over the last years becoming more and more of a risk taker, and the risks that I take are all emotional. They're all emotional, psychological, energetic risks. I don't take very many risks with my body. I don't know if you know that about me, but I don't. And this becomes really important to protect your body and not do foolhardy, reckless activities that don't really have a function in your spiritual life to get you enlightened, like bungee jumping, for example, unless you can give me a very good reason why that would propel you along in your spiritual life. Eva and I just had a very close friend. Well, he was a very close friend of Eva's, and he was very, 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 very dear to me, but not in this life. And he died in a rock climbing accident. Yeah. How old was he, Eva? 25?
27.
27. Just an extraordinary, beautiful guy. Lada, you know him. In this life, I met him for the first time at an ecstatic dance that Lada and Eva and I went to. And he had come with Eva, and I was doing improv contact dance with him, and I'd never done improv contact dance before. And I've seen it done many, many, many times, dozens and dozens and dozens of times. I've seen people doing it. And so, the way that I learn is kinesthetically, I learn in my body. So if I see people doing something, I'm already doing it, Same with asana. It's how I learn in my body, right? So I just need to be watching somebody, and I can feel it in my body. So at that particular ecstatic dance, they had this little tiny micro workshop in improv contact, improv dance. Do you all know what that is, by the way? You can Google it later. Contact improv dance. So it's where two people are dancing together, but one is always the lead and one is the follow, right? And it's like, it's quite intense dance, like very, very open, large movements possibly, and a lot of surrender type things like deep back bends, like maybe I'll even drop into a back bend all the way back or something like that, or just like drop into a side bend all the way down. And the partner, so the follower, I'm the follower and I'm being led, and the leader is responsible for me, for my safety. And the follower goes into an absolute surrender and trust, right? So I fully entrust my body to my lead. And so I did this dance with this guy, this friend of Eva's who died in a climbing accident. There he is. He's like super beautiful guy. Do you remember, Lada?
Of course I remember.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember.
dancing with him. He and I were doing like really crazy contact improv. And I don't know whether he had much experience, but I completely trusted this kid, And I had this realization that this has been a partner to me. This has been a tantric partner to me. Like I really knew it. And in the instant that I had that realization, I really was able to surrender. And we had a really extraordinary connection, although we didn't say anything because you're not allowed to talk at ecstatic dance. It's another factoid that you might not have known. So basically, I've never talked to this young man, but I had like a super intense connection with him. And then he died in a climbing accident. And that's not the end of it, Like that's not the end of it. Then Clara's husband had another really intense accident. He blew a tendon right off his bicep. And she almost sliced her finger right off recently, Clara herself. And stuff like this. And I'm hearing a lot of things like this. And what I want to say is, as a tantric practitioner, your body is your vehicle. The Vajrayana, the Vajra part, is the fact that your body is empty and the fact that you're going to project it as a vehicle that can take you fully to an enlightened state. You are going to project your empty body as a vehicle of Vajrayana that can take you all the way to an enlightened state. You must have an intact body for that purpose. So I implore you to very seriously consider what kinds of activities you're doing in your life and why. And if they're risky, edgy, physical activities, I really want to know why. I really want to know why you're doing them, Take no unnecessary risks with your bodies, Dakinis. They are the ticket. The 7-step stairway to heaven is your body. Mm-hmm. So, why do they call it the Vajrayana? Why do they call it the Vajrayana? Vajra means diamond. Why do they call it the path of diamond? Geshe Michael says, if you could boil down all the possible extraordinary experiences that you could have as a human being, in this kind of life, then one of the very few extraordinary experiences would be this highest state of samadhi, to actually experience emptiness in a direct way. For the very few minutes that it actually takes, it's not a long period of time. If you measure it in our relative time, this thing that we call time, by your cell phone or whatever. And if you do taste that flavor of samadhi, then within 7 lifetimes, you will become a being who is able to experience 7 lifetimes, okay? So see, it's not like You know, when you hear people say in this lifetime, you know, like in this lifetime, it's very relative, you know. If you have a direct perception of emptiness in this lifetime, then in 7 lifetimes, you will reach the state where you're able to project a body of your choice. You'll project a body of your choice, and you can therefore be anywhere you want, anytime, or you could be everywhere at once if you want, or whatever. So it's like, you can think of it as like being God, you know, being God can be everywhere at once. And this being doesn't create the world, but has the power to be in each world and to appear in such a way that other beings in those worlds are very, very, very attracted to them. Super attracted, like bees to honey. And you have this power to project yourself as a being who's so attractive to people that people just like flock to you, or maybe it's one person flocks to you, you know, like Yeshe Tsogyal, the consort of Padmasambhava, you know, she had 2 Dakinis whom she took to full enlightenment with her, 2. And the 3 of them on the mountaintop, when they projected themselves as pure energy, they left their fingernails and their teeth and their hair in little piles at the top of the mountain, which the rest of their, you know, their other devotees came and found these 3 piles of teeth and fingernails, toenails, and hair. And the 3 of them, she took them to this place where they were able to project themselves as pure energy. So then this direct perception experience, this high samadhi experience is like the goal of a lifetime. And the only reason for the path, you know, the only reason for the path, capital P, the path to bliss, is to help people to enter that experience, to help people to come to that experience also. And that's the reason that diamond is such a big deal, you know, in these teachings, in tantric teachings. And then the second great experience of a lifetime, is to meet or make contact with divine beings. Geshe Michael likes to call them angels. And when you make contact with divine beings, then you become them. That's what the word sadhana means, sadhana. It means to reach and to become, sadhana. So that's the second great experience that we have as our goal, you know, as our motivation. And if, this is Geshe Michael speaking, he says, if all you do in your life is to pursue those 2 goals, then your life would be better spent than any life on this planet so far. So that's another way of saying never judge what people seem to be doing with their lives or in their lives. Because you really never know, you know, maybe they're just like sitting around twiddling their genitals, you know, but maybe in fact, what they're doing is going for a highest samadhi state. And in so doing, they are reaching, making contact with divine beings and becoming them. You know, we don't know, right? And that is frankly the destiny of each of us. And it is the destiny of each of us to have those 2 motivations. And okay, I'll talk about that later. So diamond comes up in the meaning, it comes up in the meaning of ultimate reality, in the meaning of samadhi. And why then is the secret teaching, or why are the tantric teachings called the way of the diamond, Vajrayana, the vehicle of the diamond? You know, Geshe Michael has taught this many, many times. And if you've been exposed to ACI, you've also run into this many times where he talks about the qualities of a diamond and why it is that people who have experienced or tasted the highest samadhi, you might often have heard that there's no way that you can verbalize the experience. And people have it and they're not able to tell us about it, you know. If they could, then we could all go, right? But they can't because there aren't words. But what they do all realize is that it's like a diamond in that it's so it's the only thing that withstands its hardness, its stability, its steadfastness is the only thing that withstands anything, right? And he often talks about how a diamond, you know, a diamond can't be cut, right? And a diamond has a specific grain, like the crystal has a specific grain. And if you can, it's like getting the taproot, you know, to get the taproot of a tree, you just tap on a root and the tree will fall over. You know that analogy? There's a taproot in the root trunk of a tree, or not the trunk, the roots of a tree. And if you know where the taproot is, you only need to tap it and that tree will fall over in a given number, you know, given however long, not long, you know, you don't need to like chop it down. Similarly, with the highest state of samadhi, the direct perception of emptiness, it's like nothing can touch it, nothing can scratch it, nothing can destroy it, nothing can obscure it. It's completely pure. It's the hardest thing in the universe. And everything, you can see right through it, right? So you can see right through it. So if there's a wall of diamond between you and somebody else, you actually cannot see it at all, but it's there. And the analogies that he always draws are specifically inducing us to understand that everything has its own emptiness. And I always found that to be a very confusing phrase, but this is what it means. It means everything has its own emptiness. Like, for example, all the people in my room right here, well, there's just me, but all the things in my room. They each have their own emptiness, which just means none of them have a self-existent fixed nature. Each of them appear by virtue of my projected reality in this moment, in this time, in this space. I project a certain number of objects, certain types of objects. All of them are completely empty of having any kind of an existence outside of my projection of them. That's what it means that each of them have their own emptiness. Each of them are empty of being a calculator from its own side, or a laptop case from its own side. I'm projecting this object as being a functional laptop case by virtue of some kind of karma which is hidden to me and which doesn't matter anyway for the purposes of this discussion. But everything has its own karma simply means that there was a different karmic production process for each object, each person, each place, each thing in your reality. There was a different cause and effect process, which produced every person, place, and thing in your reality. Therefore, everything in your reality has its own emptiness. Shall we stop for Q&A now? Or are you okay with that rather provocative, obscure statement? Anyone? Good? Good to go on? Okay. Because you've heard this many times, right? So, we study about, most of us have studied for many, many years, maybe decades, about ultimate reality. And those teachings, by the way, those teachings, right, that we've had and that we've heard so much, they will not fail us, okay? They will never fail us. So there's a Tibetan saying in spiritual circles, which says, you may fail the teachings, but the teachings will never fail you. Like, that is so complete and so true and so apt, Of course, we're going to fail the teachings, but the teachings will never fail us. And that makes the teachings sound very self-existent, and that's allowed. So we're allowed to hold the teacher and the teachings as though they came from their own side, up until the very end, And then it kind of like goes, okay, now I have to understand that the teacher and the teachings are also empty. Also, the teacher and the teachings I have projected. And then finally, it's me. Oh my God, I even projected me, Right? So it kind of goes in that order, up to every last object in your universe, each of which has its own emptiness, which simply means that it's being projected by you by some specific cause and effect process, which you were the thrower of that boomerang. You were the thrower of the boomerang in each case. And if you keep on understanding that to be true, then you will find yourself in the presence of a higher reality. More and more and more, you'll find yourself in the presence of a higher reality. Nevertheless, you have to be in a state of deep meditation when you finally go into this samadhi state where you have this direct experience. And there are many ways to come into that samadhi state, but they all involve single-pointed focus, unbroken, adamantine single-pointed focus on a object, whether that's in a partner practice, a sexual partner practice, a solo sexual practice, whether it's a Vijnana style meditation or a Raja style meditation or whatever it is, whatever is the object of your focus, your concentration and your clarity is unbroken and completely pure. And that's the container, the crucible that out of which will pour this you with the samadhi, washed in samadhi, washed in the direct perception. And there's no other way. There's no other way than that. So then when reportedly, when you come out of that experience, you go through, there are 16 different aspects of like dawning realizations of this reality. And there are 16 aspects of what are the 4 Arya truths, right? The 4 Arya truths. And the simplest way to think of it is suffering and its causes, suffering and its causes, the cessation of suffering and its causes. Just very simply, you can say that. Suffering, why? Stop the suffering, how? 4 Arya truths. And the coolest thing of all is that reportedly, after this deepest, highest samadhi experience, you gain full clairvoyance for 24 hours, like full on clairvoyance, and you can see directly the day of your own enlightenment. You perceive exactly and directly the face of every living creature. What does that mean? What does that mean for each of us? Let's have a little input here. Okay, I'll start. So for me, what that means to imagine that I can see the face of every living creature, what that means to me is that as a result of the fact that I've understood the true nature of me, which is that I don't have a true nature, I then understand the true nature of everybody in my world, which is that they also don't have a true nature. And if I understand that I don't have a true fixed nature and they don't have a true fixed nature, then I understand where they've come from, and I can look directly into their eyes and understand where they came from. And then I can understand how to remove their pain, because that's also projected, but it's real, okay? I'm still projecting them as being in pain, even though I understand my own true nature and I understand their own true nature. I still, even as an Arya, see the pain. There's pain going on. The difference is I know exactly where it came from. And that's what it is to see the face of every living being. It's like, you know, that's what it means to me. So, Carrie Ann, do you want to go? Did you guys have like special party blankets, or what are those things? Like bathrobes? You're muted.
I'll just pass for now because
Oh,
I'm not
you're
even
pass.
sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure
Oh,
what to answer
okay.
to that. It's
Somebody
okay.
else had it. But you've heard it many times, right? Like most of you have heard many times. Oh, and then I saw the face of every living being. I mean, what is that? Lada? But first I want to know about those matching blankies of yours.
Yeah, that's an easy answer. It's towels. It's like
Okay.
pool towels. Yeah. So it's a little drizzle and it's cold. So
I thought it was like a
we're
party
matching.
favor, Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
Carrie Ann gave away these matching
Yeah.
blankies.
Yeah.
Okay, Lada.
What came to me is when I will see face of every living being, all the animals and all the creatures, and it just means that I can do something about it. That's for me. It's very similar to what you said. Is like I directly realize that nothing exists outside of my projections, and therefore I can do something about it. I can take them out.
Yeah, because always Geshe Michael says, you will see the face of every living being and you will know how to take care of them, right? He always says that. He always says both of those things. Yeah. You want to have a go, Sadira?
Kind of.
Spontaneously.
That, I guess I'll need really to mull it over, because the way that you described it was total, in my opinion.
You're,
To see everyone without projection, without adding a projection of that's them, this is me, that's not my business, this is my business. Yeah, that's really all I can add.
Yeah, it's interesting the way Geshe Michael always says it. He always says it the same way. And he always says, you will see the face of every living being. See, that's also interesting to me, that he chooses to say it like that. Because what that means to me is that he's also including the fact that they are there because we've projected them. They are there. You know, it's not that they're not there just because we projected them. The reason that they're all there is because we projected them. So he's bringing that in as well, you know, as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When he chooses to say it like that. You know, Geshe Michael doesn't say anything without like supra-consciousness, you know, and everything he says is like very, very, very powerful and very specific and like shoots out in a million different directions with powerful, powerful arrows, which sometimes turn into flowers and sometimes they don't. But they're like impeccably directed, you know. And you know, 1,000 people will be sitting in a room and each one of them will feel the arrow land a different way for them, but it will land. You know what I mean? Some of you know what I mean. Okay, Eva, what's your take on that face of every living being shtick?
The first thing that came to my mind, I mean, it's what I heard when Geshe-la explained it in like maybe 2 Lam Rims ago. And he says that, yeah, you will see the face of every single being and you will take care of him. And the thing that he was saying was that he had this story of you see the face of every single being, like one of those slot machines. and the feeling you get that he described was that you'll feel like, I got you covered. You'll see your mom first. I got you covered. I got every single bug person thing. I got you covered. I got you covered. I got you covered. Yeah.
Wow.
And the I got you covered phrase came from this big Polish crazy groundskeeper that was in his college when he was in Princeton. And Geshe Michael would get up to all this, you know, naughty stuff or like crash the truck or something. And this Polish guy would always take the blame and he would say, I got you covered.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just what came to me. But in terms of like my own, there was nothing. It was just remembering that. Yeah.
Thank you. Deborah, do you want to? Well, you don't have to. It's completely optional.
I kind of missed it because I had to go to the washroom, but I kind of liken it to the super consciousness, like this incredible connection to your imagination, to my imagination, and to be able to see beyond what can be seen. But my experience recently was with this takedown of the homeless people in downtown Vancouver. And it was like when I seen the story that was showing the press and the police and stuff, it was like, although that there was only like 3 people in the screen, I could see them all.
Mhm.
And there was a part of connectedness, not in a sorrow, but almost like I got you covered, like just sending blessings out, like I got you covered, I got you covered, I got you covered. And I posted on my business stories that humans matter. And
this is very beautiful, you know, because it's almost like another way of saying the process is the goal, is the process is the goal, is the process is the goal, you know? Yeah, I had a similar experience just this past week because I went to different places in Berlin and I went to some exhibits, pictorial exhibits of the Nazi regime. And there was a place at the Berlin Wall where they have a large, large exhibit of the ovens of Auschwitz, and really, really gruesome, extraordinary exhibit. And what's been really interesting to me about Berlin is that it's really drawn me. It's like super attracted me. This started last summer, you know. And what attracted me was that I knew of a group of people which gradually widened more and more and more, who had a very, 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 very limitless permission field in their consciousness. And, you know, what that means is that they were like, they're super edgy practitioners of all kinds of different things, you know, tantric practitioners or BDSM practitioners or whatever they are, but they have a common quality of being really open and loving, and not tolerant isn't even the right word, fully welcoming of anybody and anything, as long as it's not harmful to anybody or to themselves. And I mean, in lots of cases, there is some harm happening, but it's by consent, okay? Because you have to understand that this is an edgy city. But what attracted me so much about the whole scene is that it's super loving. And I thought, God, you know, this is so attractive. What is it about these people? They're just like, everything and everybody is okay, you know? And it didn't really come to me until this time. So I'm at this place at the Berlin Wall, you know, there's a checkpoint called Checkpoint Charlie, which some of you may know, but you have to be a certain age to know about Checkpoint Charlie. So that's where the checkpoint between East and West Berlin. And what came to me, God, it gives me goosebumps to think about it. What came to me is that I had this major consciousness of how I felt about the secret, you know, the SS and Hitler and the regime, you know, and I felt this like, this thing releasing from my heart, where I thought, you know, you poor fucking son of a bitch, you know, what kind of human being does that? And then I thought, wow, a deeply, deeply, deeply suffering and troubled human being, that's who. And, you know, I talked to my friend Anna, she's a psychotherapist, about it. And she said, yeah, you know, psychopath, you know, a psychopath it's not even that they enjoy harming others. You know, they might enjoy it, they might not, doesn't matter. They do not give a shit. There's no consciousness of caring at all. And that comes from such a deep wounding, so much infliction of pain into that psyche, that it's like a complete shutdown of the heart chakra, absolute complete shutdown of the heart chakra. And then nothing matters, you know, there is no energy possible at the heart chakra. And I understood that to be true about Hitler. And I understood that kind of suffering starts with a tiny, tiny little closure in my heart, you know, for me to project that kind of suffering, even though it's in the past, it's in history. It comes from the minuscule closure in my own heart, the smallest judgment that I have in my own heart. And when I felt myself able to imagine holding him in my love energy and holding him in my empathetic response system, and when I felt myself thinking, oh my God, you know, it's like, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do, right? Really, you know? And then I really understood the people of Berlin. I really understood the people of Berlin, whose hearts, in response to that whole piece of shit history that they all live with, whose hearts just like blasted through obstructions, you know, and obscurations and closure, it just busted through, you know, and held everything and everyone, just held everything. Everything is okay here. Anyone can come here and be who they are. It doesn't matter. We will love you here. We will love you here. That's the kind of place this is. It's really kind of crazy, you know? So it's like that, right? The face of every living being, you know? And, you know, the face of every living being, of course, Hitler's face is in there, you know? What, just he's not in there, you know, when you bust through and you see the face, you know what I mean? So so everyone comes up with a diamond, you see? Everyone comes up with a diamond. And then you know, you realize that there's no inherent evil. There's no inherent evil. Yeah. Okay. Well, so if we really want to stop that kind of pain, you know, how do I stop that kind of pain in a man's heart, like the pain of Adolf Hitler? What about, like, if I want to stop the pain in his heart? For sure, I have to have the ability to project myself as an angel, as a divine being. And it's only the emptiness of that angel body and the emptiness of my current body that makes that possible. And if I don't get that at a very high intellectual level, from a point of view of physics, even, you know, even from a point of view of physics, you can think it through. You can think it through, right? And then to have that experience directly, that's the only way. That's the only way that I can stop the pain in the hearts of men and women like Adolf Hitler. That kind of pain. Do you think there is very little greater pain than that, you know, that shuts you down like that, you know? So what can trigger, how do we do it? You know, everybody always wants to know in our Tantra classes at Diamond Mountain. Oh, by the way, Geshe-la goes on this big rave about how, so you really have to like have diamonds in your life. And you know that he went and worked for a diamond company and everything, because he just wanted to be like surrounded by diamonds all the time. And he says stuff like, you know, start a center, name it Diamond something, you know, it doesn't matter, Diamond something. You know, that's why we named it Diamond Forest, you know, like, because that was his instruction. That was a direct instruction of the guru, you know. And then he answers a question from a student: what triggers the direct perception? How do I do it? And he thought for a long time, and there's this long, empty quietness in the middle of the audio. And then he says, you have to have a lama and you have to serve them. That's number one. And number two, you have to take care of others. You have to be able to move out of a self-absorbed state and take care of others. And you have to be able to go to where the pain is and take care of others. Even, you know, something which is really an internal thing, because, for example, the pain of Adolf Hitler, he's not here. I'm not sitting with him. But I can go there, you know, I can go there. And it's not easy, right? It wasn't easy for me. actually, to go there and love him was not easy for me. You know, I'm partly German, and that's a big stigma, you know, like I carry a big stigma, you know. Okay. Okay, so with debate, he talks a little about debate, which is quite funny. And what he says is you have to remember, you always have to remember when you're debating that you're debating a gakcha. You are debating a gakcha as though it was an existing thing. So you're debating about the existence of a three-headed purple elephant as though it absolutely existed. And in so doing, in debating, of course, everyone comes to realize, well, you know what? It's not possible. Can't be, right? That's the big purpose of debate, right? In fact. It's the thing that you're jealous of, or the one that you're angry at, or it's the source of all your troubles, the source of all your desire, you know? It's that gaksha, right? That's what you're debating and arguing about. And the more you get, you know, the more we get upset, the greater our lack of understanding of the emptiness of me and the whoever is, you know, giving me the hard time or giving me the good time or whatever's going on, you know, right? Okay, so then there's just a couple of bodhisattva vows that he goes over. When can doing a good deed be breaking a vow? When can doing a good deed be breaking a vow? You know that sometimes doing a bad deed can be not breaking a vow, right? But when can doing a good deed be breaking a vow? Anybody?
When it's,
Motivation?
Yeah, with some kind of motivation, like what?
when it's
Like
helpful
for
to
me,
others.
yeah. So yeah, basically it's that if you're not thinking about how doing this good deed is going to turn you into a fully enlightened being, then you're breaking a vow. So you want to hold the awareness of how it is that whatever good thing you're doing is going to get you enlightened. And for that matter, everything you do. So let me go back to any kind of risky physical activities that you might undertake. If you cannot prove to me and yourself that that activity is going to hasten your enlightenment or is somehow beneficial for you or others, then by all means. But if the risk outweighs those benefits, cease and desist. I want to say it, and I'm going to say it. Super precious, this body. You know, like
question. Sorry.
Yeah, Alada, go ahead.
Really? Okay. Just I was just had this incredible overwhelming feeling of I am doing trillion acts every single day, and I feel almost impossible for me to reflect and like being high state of awareness of every single moment of every single day of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and how it's going to propel me towards, you know, enlightenment or not. So it means that I will be breaking, you know, tantric vow every single moment. Like it's just impossible, at least, you know. What can you tell me about that?
Which is why you can start thinking differently about people who appear to be doing nothing. Yeah, so, okay, so just further to what you just said, Lada. So so, okay, and
And I'm asking, I understand that more aware I will be, more, instantaneously, I will know what act will have this highest motivation or not. But I'm saying, would that mean that I know my state of my consciousness and my state of mind these days, and I know that even when I do really active service, I don't even think about how much this is going to add to my end goal, and rejoice about it. You constantly
That's-
say rejoice
you-
about it. Yeah.
you plant the seeds for scarcity when you do not understand the value of the service you do. If you want to know why you experience ongoing scarcity,
Yes.
that might be a reason. Not having a super high awareness of how it is that your service, or even your partying, I want to say that what you ladies just did, or what I'm imagining you just did, I don't really know what you just did, but I have this story in my mind, and the story in my mind speaks of a circle of goddesses where, if you understood what you were doing and you held that you held your consciousness on that, then it would have a whole different effect, what you did. A completely different effect. But I think you probably did have a really high motivation. I think you did. So anyway, it's that, right? Just doing good deeds without thinking of like that you're becoming a Buddha, this is like a major breaking of a vow. And also you'll burn out, right? You'll burn out like super fast. Yeah. Okay, so there's this other dilemma in Tantra, which is where in Tantra, do you remember that the number one rule is that every single person, place, thing, interaction is divine? So then how do you reconcile that with the suffering that you see? Right? Okay, but they look like they're suffering to me, How do you reconcile those two views, How do I reconcile the fact that I see them as suffering and therefore I serve them? And the fact that, oh yeah, right, just a sec, I'm a tantrika, I'm supposed to see them as divine. How do you reconcile those two things? Eva, you want to give it a go?
So your question was, how do we reconcile the suffering we see in our world as a tantric, as a divine thing? I have a personal example I want to share.
Please.
Okay, and it was what I was telling you earlier, how on Thursday night, this guy at my work who I like to flirt with a little bit, it was his going away party and everyone's at the brewery, and I had like 2 drinks and everyone else was drinking, and he got totally wasted. And there was this moment where I was walking on the street and I realized, wow, I haven't thought about my Lama for like a whole 2 hours or something. I haven't thought about my practice for like a whole 2 hours. I haven't consecrated or whatever. And I totally wasn't there. It's felt like. And, by the end of the night, after all these things, I kind of felt, I sat with myself and I felt like, oh my God, like that was such a waste of time. And that was silly. And why did I do that? And I felt disgusted with myself a little bit because there was nothing there was no high conscious actions in those moments that I could recall. And then I was like, okay, like I have to do something with this prana. I have to do something with this energy. And I don't know, like, what do we do with the suffering that we see in our, I always come back to emptiness. Like, this came from me and no one else. And this is what this is my projection. And if all else fails, I just offer it up to my Lama. But in terms of like, yeah, the suffering that we see and how to reconcile that, I think the answer's there. It's just not coming out. But yeah, it's me. It's my projection, and I have to transmute it in some way. Yeah, that's kind of what's coming up for me right now.
Really, what it is, what the question really is why is Adolf Hitler a divine angel? That's what it, if you really want to get blunt about it.
Because that's the only thing that's going to get me out of here.
That's a really good answer, It could be the last thing that you needed to get out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It feels like it could be the last thing,
Yeah.
It's just like the very last thing that I need is someone like that to show up in my life in order for me to bust through and get out,
Sorry.
It's a really, tantric practice is very difficult in that way, because the suffering people are there. Why? Because I projected them. The fact that they're divine might not be there yet because I haven't projected it yet. So it's just as you say, if I grasp only to this one thing, if I only grasp to this one thing, that I projected everything, and that I can project anything, then everybody can appear divine, just like we've been saying. Then every person, place, and thing that appears to me, suffering or not suffering, is there. I'm projecting it for the singular purpose of getting me out, freeing me and getting me out. I projected it. What do I want to project, But it's not even that. It's not even, oh God, I projected this hideous thing, Now I have to project something different. It's not even that in Tantra. It's not. It's the projection as it is divine, just as it is, So, yeah, of course, the answer to the question is, it's empty. They are empty. They're empty, They're empty. Oh yeah, Adolf Hitler is empty. That sounds really convenient, but I still projected him though, in my current reality. I didn't live at the time he lived, but I project a world with him as immediate history. And I also project a world where the immediate history also contains this group of beings who have the most magnificently open hearts that I can't tell you where I've ever seen so many people with such hugely open hearts as the people here, And I feel that that's what happens when you have that kind of history, Like, what can you do, right? What can you do other than to like open your heart and love the guy? No, really. You can love the victims, of course, all you want, and take care of the aftermath and the backwash of the whole horrible, morbid situation. But in the final analysis, you gotta love the guy. You have to love the guy. Really, really love the guy, like get it about him, So that's like almost like then it turns into a very special place that had such a special history, you know, and such an opportunity for the people who followed, you know. You know what I mean? So all of that is an inner journey, you know, all of that sort of thing is the inner tantric journey of the transmutation of our world, right?
Can I share something that came right when you were talking? You know, I'm projecting Putin completely differently. I'm projecting a guy who is taking a huge hit from the world. But what he is doing, he's actually saving future suffering of 100 million, you know, Russian people from a threat of, you know, like I am projecting someone who is being criticized for what he is doing, but so I don't know why that came to me right now, but it's like I am not projecting perpetrator like that. I mean, he's doing, it's almost, I'm not saying that I'm projecting this bodhisattva. There was a story about bodhisattva on the ship there was someone killing. There was a story that you were telling and Geshe Michael was telling that he had to take a life of someone else because he was killing. I'm not saying that I project is like that, but there is some kind of, very similar. Yeah.
And it's not a very popular stance, you know, like you can rest assured that I don't walk around here saying, I love Adolf Hitler, you know, now I love him. While it's true that I do. You see what I'm saying? Like, what kind of a special place do you think it is that has a group of people who really do, they really do love him, you know? So it's not a popular position. It is not easy to be a tantrika with a full understanding of emptiness, operating in the world with a full understanding of emptiness, whether direct or intellectual, you know what I mean? Is not easy. It's not popular and it's not easy. You will be misunderstood. You will be like crucified, probably, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, you know. Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do. Are you kidding me? He said it while he was nailed on the cross, you know. While he was already nailed on the cross, he said it.
So when you forgive, in the tantric lineage, is there, I don't want to say different levels of love, but there's a forgiveness love. There's a euphoric, ecstatic love. I see it. Can you speak to that? Is there differences in?
I mean, you know, love is something that, love is the energy of the heart, right? So, you know, ecstatic love, to me, that means where sexual energy has been successfully raised to the heart, and then it transmutes into ecstatic love. Forgiveness love, forgiveness is a weird thing, you know, in tantric circles, because like, who's forgiving whom for what, you know? Like, I projected you, you know, doing this horrible thing to me. Now I'm going to forgive you. It doesn't like make that much sense, you know, after a while, you know? And that doesn't mean that it's condoned. It also doesn't mean that you can condone whatever.
And then Hitler love, you know, like, what do you call that?
What?
Like Hitler love, you know what I mean? Where you come to,
well, like, I don't know what you call that. You know, everybody has an experience of that kind of thing, right? But like for me personally, that was like, you know, he was an exhibit A, you know? He was an exhibit A. He was like a self-standing evil, self-standing, self-existent evil, period. existing from his own side, just evil, evil, evil. And I could, there was just like, there was no way. I mean, I thought about it a lot, and all I noticed was that I remember one time somebody sent me a piece of music called something or other of Auschwitz. And it was a very, 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 very depressing piece of music, but beautiful, you know, beautiful, but like really almost macabre and depressing. And I remember like feeling resistance. So always my thing has been resisting. I just don't even want to think about it. I just don't even want to think about it. So now this time, this thing that I did, I went there, you know, I went there, I looked at it, I saw it. That's already like, it was a big deal for me. Because I was in a whole bunch of resistance and denial. Like, it's just like, I just don't even want any part of it. So that prompted going further with my whole experience of him, my internal experience of him, you know? Yeah. And so for me, that was like a big, 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 you know, it was a big, what do they call it? Game changer. It was a big game changer in my heart chakra, you know?
Feeling different levels. Like when I looked at the homelessness and sent the blessings out with my heart chakra and love, it was more of like a resurrection love. And when I think of my children, and it's more of a miracle love, you know, it's more of a magical miracle love. When I think of the forgiveness love of my dad or my brother or my neighbor, it's more of a grace love, like a peaceful love. So I was just but it's all just love. But I guess my own projection of my love is
fine-tuned.
Is the meaning making, is fine-tuned to that meaning making of why I'm rejoicing in that love, and how did I get to be so blessed to be able to
Exactly.
be aware that
Yeah, because
it is
they're
what I
all-
want to share.
They're all different karmas, but only you can experience that difference, and only you experience the difference in those flavors, quite subtle differences maybe, or
Thank
whatever.
you. Just didn't know if I was off on the wrong tangent, but by trying to have those identifiers, but then that's my own projection. And one day I'll awaken to the fact that I just truly love.
You already have. Okay, my beauties. Anything else? This is your last chance for pre-tantric questions.
Thank you.
So I decided about Hatha Yoga Pradipika. By the way, who here, Lada, you already finished it, right? You did it. You did HYP, right, Lada?
Yes, I did. In Chinatown, we were,
Yeah.
I think, did we finish? I don't remember if I
Oh, yeah,
finished
we
chapter
finished.
4. We were finished.
We did, yeah,
finished.
that's where I did it with you too, is with our group in your apartment.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And how about you, Sadira? You didn't. You did, you? Sadira? No.
No,
you
just
didn't.
bits and pieces here and there.
Carrie Ann, were you there at Hatha Yoga Pradipika? Are you interested in it? Are you nodding, or what are you doing? You are?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
So what I'm going to do, I've decided that we'll do it as a retreat style, urban retreat style, over like 1.5 weekends or 2 weekends in Vancouver. That's how we're going to do it per chapter. So one chapter will take Friday evening, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, plus maybe another Saturday or something like that. So that's how we'll do it in that format. It's the easiest, it's the best, it's the most punchy, and it will be really good to have it happening kind of alongside the tantric teachings. So then, which brings me to the topic of tantric initiation and where and how and all that. So, I'm in a state of great curiosity about this. And I have a number of like attractions about how it could look, where and how it could look. And I'm in a state of receptivity about it, a complete surrender. So who knows, how long this will take for this to come to me. Hopefully not too long, but whenever it comes to me, if you want tantric initiation, whatever it is that comes to me will be filtered through my Lama, and whatever that is what we'll do. I don't know what else to say to you. I have no idea what it is, but whatever it is, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So I just want to say, I don't know what that is. Okay. In other words, be ready for anything, because I have no idea. Yeah.
Do
And
you
if
know
you
the time frame? I was going to take the Samananda, and it's from September 15th to the 26th.
Oh, no, certainly won't be in September, because I'm going to be still here in Europe. No.
Oh, right. You're there till October, right?
Yeah.
13th.
Yeah. And so, yeah. So the next thing that we're going to do is tantric initiation. If you have done a formal request to me in writing, then you know who you are. If you have not, then you know who you are. If you wish to have initiation with us and you have not given me a formal request, I hope you know who you are and that you'll need to do that if that's what you want to do. And so I want to now turn the Saturday morning class into a 3-hour sadhana as before for a while, until everything sort of slips into place. And then when I get back to Vancouver, hopefully we'll have some plan for a tantric initiation, and then we can schedule the Hatha Yoga Pradipika weekend accordingly, because I feel that it will be of the highest benefit to do it simultaneously, because it's so in alignment, which a lot of you didn't get to do, or you, Deborah, like to get the tantric teachings alongside the Hatha Yoga Pradipika teachings is incredible, because of the incredible closeness and the parallels in the teachings, and you can really see the thread,
The Kriyas, I think, would be huge with it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
So the chakra sadhana and the
Love
Kriya
the
practice,
Kriyas.
when you get to experience it from the Tibetan Buddhist Tantra and the Hindu Tantra simultaneously, it's really, really cool. It gives way more depth into the practices, experiential depth. Okay, beautifuls. So this is definitely something to consecrate and dedicate that we've done here together. This last review of the foundational teachings for Tantra, which, it's like, oh my God, I'm falling through space. And thank God there isn't any ground, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. So you'll be happy that you have this foundation someday soon. You'll be very, very happy, and you'll feel very blessed. So let's be very, very conscious of that and make a dedication of the fact that we somehow find ourselves in a place and a time where we've been given the foundation of the path to bliss and a safe place from which to take off, to go airborne. Okay, thank you. So I just want to, I just remembered one thing. Eva, who's your Ne Lama?
Lada.
Lada, who's yours?
She's not with us.
So you need a
Um,
new one. You need to.
Yeah, no, I not within this group, Lama, but I have Ne Lama since 2010. Lama
But you
John,
need a
yeah.
Ne Lama in this group because
Oh,
you
in
need
this group.
also, just because the Ne Lama is the one that you get to bitch to about the Lama in this group. I mean, you might get to
Mhm.
do that with your current existing Ne Lama from 2010. But it's good that it's somebody in this group who's also attendant and experiencing what it is that you're experiencing. But you can, of course, you can also use your existing Ne Lama. What about you,
Mhm.
Sadhira?
Lada.
Okay, so a Ne Lama, N-E-Y, Ne Lama, is a Lama that you request from within your Sangha. And that Ne Lama is the one to whom you go with all of your complaints about the teacher and the teachings and the methods and the whatever, everything that you want to, everything that you ever wanted to complain about that you don't feel comfortable to go to the Lama with, you go to the Ne Lama with it. And although some of you come directly to me, which is really, really good, but you still need a Ne Lama, okay? You still need a Ne Lama. And when you request a Ne Lama, you request a Ne Lama in much the same way that you would request any other Lama, which is with very deep respect and a small offering or a big offering, as you like. Yeah, what were you going to say, Lada?
I wanted to ask Lama if I can request Ne Lama from original group of, our original group, someone who is not studying with that and who will not take tantric initiation. Would I still can I do that?
Well, you can do that. I mean, you can have as many Ne Lamas as you want, you see.
I'm saying
You can
we
have as
don't
many as
have
you want.
much choice. I can ask back if we only have 3 people, let's say Eva and Sadhira are my Ne Lama
Choices.
disciples. So can I ask like we can be Ne Lama to each other?
Of course.
Oh, I see.
Of
Okay.
course. Of course. Yeah, of course. And that doesn't mean you can't have another Ne Lama. Of course you can. But I would also like you to have Ne Lamas from within this tighter circle. Yeah. Okay. And lean on one another, really lean on one another and hold one another and allow each other to lean into you. And like really be there, okay, for each other. Really be there for each other. Okay. So next Saturday, I will be broadcasting Sadhana class live from Croatia. Very
So
beautiful.
is there no more connection for the Tantra? Like what is like we just are we're just taking a break, or just continue on with the De Lam and get the
Well, De Lam is finished now. We've now finished De Lam course 3. So that's it for De Lam.
what about the De Lam 3 exam? Do we do
Yeah,
that?
you need to
Yeah,
do
okay,
all
okay.
the coursework. So
Okay.
you need to get together if you want for reviews and all that, right? I'm
Okay.
sure somebody in this little group will be responsible for that.
Yeah, I think we can do like reviews and debates and stuff in person or on Zoom. If we're going to come back to sadhana from 6 to 9, then we would discuss another time, Yeah, we'll figure it out. And so we'll discuss another time that we can get together and hash it out.
So Sadhana will be on Saturdays from 6 till 9, for sure next Saturday, and I think even the Saturday after. But after that, in September, I myself go into some teachings for a month. So there will be a month in September where probably we'll have no class at all, because I actually am in teachings for a month in September.
Okay,
In
good, me
fact.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm just, it's not going to be possible for me. Yeah.
In Hrvatski and Croatian, thank you is hvala. Hvala te. Thank you, Lama Padma.
Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful service and your devotion and your love. And thank you for your deep understandings and your willingness to share and your willingness to practice.
Please always keep teaching us and taking us there.
See you next weekend.
Blessings. Please keep teaching. See you soon.
Love you, Lama. Love you all.
Love you all.
Happy birthday, Carrie Ann!
Happy birthday, Carrie
Birthday.
Ann.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye.